What is up, YouTube? Matt McKeever here with Jeff Wybo.
What's up, YouTube?
And so yeah, we just thought, why not go live on a Friday night?
Because we have no life.
I like to think that we're just reminiscent towards the cash flow go days.
Oh yeah, what time did that we start? 5:30, right?
Yeah, 5:30 I think on Fridays. So
everybody's like, oh, just getting home from work.
yeah.
Can you go later? So now we're later.
We're doing it. So West Coast, what's up? That's at least getting after school hours now, so that's good. So I'm just gonna pull up the live video so I can see what you guys are commenting. But otherwise, I just kind of want to chat with you guys about the upcoming Wybo Limo Tour. Talk a little bit more about John from Seeded Developments, as well as talk about the Vegas Mastermind, because pre-sale pricing is going to run out very shortly. So
and Matt's a hard ass, so
yeah, way
now.
harder than I used to be. So you guys definitely
You guys used to be able to go, come on, Matt, it's like
and
one day late.
Yeah.
Can I get the old pricing? And now.
So someone already gave me a dislike. I see how it is, man. Well, at least I gave myself an upvote, so now we're tied. So let's see you double downvote me, bro. But if anyone else watching this would like to hit the upvote, that would help my ego a little bit. But yeah, anyways, that's just kind of what we want to talk about. So the thing I'm most excited for in the near term is the Wybo Limo Tour going to Windsor. So you guys have seen, I've been slowly releasing some videos with John from Seeded Developments in Windsor.
Oh, Graham's in the house.
Hey, what's up, Graham? Appreciate you smashing that like button. Now, there we go, we're at 6 now. 6 to the 1 downvote, so that feels a lot better. But yeah, John in Windsor is just absolutely crushing it with Seeded Developments. He's got over 40 student rental properties already. He's acquiring at least a few a week now at this point. And I think he just wants to take over all of Windsor. So we thought, why not rent a limo bus, go down, check out what he's up to. And so at this Wybo Limo Tour on the 23rd, September 23rd, we're going to go check out some of John's projects. So we're going to see a property he's just closed on. We're going to see a property that's mid-renovations, as well as a finished product. And so we just really want to give you guys a wide sampling of John's approach, and you're going to get to meet with the man himself, hear him talk. He's very well spoken and extremely knowledgeable on the subject matter, so you guys definitely don't want to miss this. I just feel like the Wybo Limo Tour keeps getting better and better, like a lot of things. So,
I listed it yesterday, and we have 6 sales in less than 24 hours.
Yeah, so that definitely
at a high price range too.
Yeah,
so.
And at the same time, if you guys are from the GTA and you want to come, all you need to do is drive to London, jump on the limo bus from London. We'll all head down together to Windsor and hit up Windsor. And if you're in Windsor, we'll just have a meetup location in Windsor. We'll pick you up. You buy your ticket, same as normal. Just let us know that you want to be picked up at the Windsor location. We'll figure it out. Not a big deal.
What I'm going to do is email all the attendees and be like, Windsor people, meet at this place. And I don't know if that'll be at the first location or at the Tim Hortons or somewhere.
Yeah, details to follow.
Details, whatever. Just you just know you got to be there. So.
Yeah, because honestly, the cash flow, the return on investment he's getting from these properties is just phenomenal.
Blowing my mind. Yeah.
We're truly excited. We definitely want to try and get a piece of Windsor now that we've been exposed to what John's up to. And yeah, I'm just really excited. I think that he's got an amazing business model that's extremely replicatable. And so I think he's going to do really well with it. And we want to be a part of his success. I think you guys should strongly consider it too. And the best part is you're going to get to really meet him, get some hands-on experience with him, and get to see exactly how his process works. In a perfect world, I'm going to try and convince John to have one property ready for us that someone can come and actually joint venture partner with him on right then and there. So if you're interested in actually really taking action in the short term and acquiring a really great cash flowing property, essentially what you kind of need to know is he's acquiring these properties somewhere in the 150 to 250 range. So you're probably going to need about, let's just call it 50 grand for your down payment. Then he's doing extensive renovations to really get them up to be the best student rental properties that Windsor has. So again, you're probably looking at, let's call it another $50,000 in closing and renovation costs. So the ideal partner for John would be someone with, say, $100,000 or more of capital to invest. And now that capital can come from a variety of sources. It could be a line of credit on your home, yada, yada, yada. You guys figure it out. But essentially, otherwise, all you're going to need to be able to do is qualify for a $300,000 mortgage, because what he'll do is renovate the property, refinance it. It's not a BRRRR. It's not effective towards the BRRRR strategy, so don't expect to get all your capital out, but you'll get some of it back potentially. But you're going to be left with an extremely strong cash flowing property. It's going to be completely hands-free from your perspective because John wants to manage them. And the reason he wants to manage them is to ensure that it stays with the quality that he's used to. If you have no interest in partnering with John but want to learn his business model, you might be able to twist his arm and he might be able to figure something out with you where he just helps you find the property, build the plan, and execute on it. But again, the best way to figure that out is to come down on the Wybo Level Tour September 23rd.
Mm-hmm. Well, you did a video with John, and John's Instagram and John's emails, phone numbers.
Yeah. So the first video that came out just blew up, and we didn't even share any of John's information other than his name and the name of his company. So I know that a lot of you guys are extremely interested in what John's up to. So this is honestly the best opportunity to really get in and figure out what he's up to. Check him out, see that it's legit, and yeah, I'm just really excited by it. I think it's going to be a fantastic learning opportunity, and he's just so willing to share. And that's what like this community, our entire network's all about. But it's just fantastic to find another person that's just crushing it on such a high level that's still willing to pay back. And he's been really helping out. If you guys attended OREC 2018, maybe you remember the very start of it, we pulled someone up from the stage, or from the crowd onto the stage, and that was Raymond. And it ends up that John's actually now mentoring Raymond and has got Raymond his first property, and the numbers on it look fantastic. So literally the way Raymond ended up discovering John was through a mutual connection that was also at OREC. So that's really the power of networking here, guys, is Raymond was brand new, never bought a property, didn't really know how to execute on it, and because he went to OREC, because he networked, he met someone that introduced him to John. So yeah, networking and just taking action. I think that's what I really want you guys to figure it out, man.
It's like our Friday night preach all the time. Like,
yeah,
come on, guys. Like, we're telling you.
It's like perfect timing because the weekend's coming up. Like, you can either take it off and fool around, or you can put in the extra work and grind and get the like above average results. So
exactly.
You know, you could watch football on Sunday. You know, it'll be football Sunday, or you could go learn and make a ton of money potentially by investing in Windsor. So.
Or, best of both worlds, host a football event and then talk to people.
Yeah, that could work too.
But not on the Level Tour day.
Yeah.
We'll be back in time for the evening games, I'm thinking.
The late games, yeah.
So.
But whatever. Yeah. And so I saw that Graham Stephan jumped in the comment section, was talking about he's looking forward to Vegas. We're extremely excited about Vegas. We're actually now just under 20% sold for Vegas. Our pre-sale pricing goes till September 10th. So right now, it's the cheapest time to buy tickets.
And John will be in Vegas.
Yeah, so John's coming to Vegas, and same with like the whole cast of characters you guys are familiar with. So John from Seeds Developments in Windsor's coming, John Kepler from Owen Sound's coming, Alicia from Owen Sound's coming, as well. Like we got a whole host. Leela Fan's coming. We got Max, who drove all the way from Indianapolis to OREC. He's coming.
This time he's coming from Hawaii.
Yeah, he's flying from Hawaii, but he's not even. That's not even the furthest flight.
No, we have German coming.
Yeah, so someone's already committed and coming and flying.
Barely asked any questions. He's like, I'm there. Like,
yeah, and it sounds like potentially we have someone that's considering coming from Australia. Like this is literally going to be.
I'm talking to Finland.
Guys, is there a way we could get someone from every continent? Because that'd be super cool.
Who are we missing?
So we just need South America, Africa, Asia.
We'll get a.
That would be. Yeah. That'd be next level.
And I know, you're in California. It's pretty hard to get to Las Vegas, or you're in.
Well, and that's the best thing. If you're in the continental U.S., flights to Vegas. Vegas has got to be one of the cheapest destinations to fly to.
Yeah.
And even if you're in Canada, it's still one of the cheapest destinations to fly to.
So you probably live by our border. There's like 6.
Yeah, see now like 80% of our population lives within.
Where we live, you can go to Toronto, you can do Hamilton, London, Buffalo, Detroit, Windsor. There's so many options to get to Vegas. So.
Yeah, and we keep coming up with more and more interesting, clever ideas. In fact, I was talking to a guy that's going to be coming out to Vegas, and he's a big YouTuber, and so I'm not going to share the secret right now, but he's got over 2.7 million subs on YouTube. He's going to give us a talk about his YouTube success, how he ended up dropping out of university to become a full-time YouTuber, and kind of the model and exactly how he's approaching the analytics. And so, Vegas is just going to be kind of pulling from all these different experts we've met And the thing is, unlike a lot of other masterminds or a lot of other, events where you're listening to keynote speakers, like, this isn't an event where you go and you hear someone just preach to you on stage and then you can't hang out with them afterwards. Everyone that's coming to the event is staying on the hotel grounds. You're essentially going to be cooped up with them for 48 hours. So you can bump into them in the elevator, the bar, the restaurant, by the pool. And it's going to, what I really want everyone to walk away with is just having a ton of new relationships and potential business partners or prospects. And by just getting a group of smart, intelligent, hardworking individuals who are also doing financially well in the same room for a 48-hour period, there's no way that something magical isn't going to happen. So I'm super pumped.
Yeah. Like, you're either the person that's working your 9-to-5 job right now, trying to get your money together to come on this, to talk to those people, or you're that person who's already coming, they bought their ticket, and they're on my board over here, and they're going to be mentoring you guys. So, be there. I already got some good comments in there.
Oh, so Aiden, you're the one from Australia that's going to be coming with Mike Rosehart to Vegas? Because if so, that's awesome. That's pretty cool. And so boom, we'd love to get Australia crossed off our bucket list. So,
and our percentage is going up pretty high here now. We're close to 30% sold. I think.
So like we're just under 20% officially sold, but then we counting the tickets we have reserved in our build, we're literally technically, so that's 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So in theory, that would put us at so based on people that have committed and people that have paid, we're at 35% sold.
Jeez, we couldn't even sell that at OREC.
Not nearly this far in advance.
For $50 tickets,
yeah.
$75 tickets.
So the good news is that at least OREC apparently gave us some street cred about being good event planners.
And the limo tour yesterday, 6 people buying right away.
Yeah,
right?
Yeah, definitely. And we really do appreciate the support, guys. It does mean a lot to us, so thank you very much for that. But beyond that, just let's paint a bit more of a picture for people about what Vegas is about. So it's really about you, the attendee, and us trying to really help you meet and make the connections you need to take yourself or your business to the next level, or to find the right business opportunity, or the right opportunity for whatever it is that you're currently hustling or grinding on. And so part of that is every single attendee that's coming to Vegas will shoot a 3 to 5 minute bio video, and assuming they give me permission, I'm going to share that bio video of everyone that's attending Vegas on my YouTube channel, because one, it's going to show you the quality of people that are coming out to Vegas, the smart, hardworking individuals that are coming. But beyond that, it's my way to kind of pay it forward to everyone that is committing to coming out to Vegas, because it does mean a lot to me. That you're taking a risk on us, because it's the first year for this event. But like I've been saying, assuming that we're successful on this one, it's going to be way more expensive next year. But I think, from my perspective, one thing I've been thinking about is, assuming you have the resources to attend, if you want to, if you see yourself ever wanting to hang out with, say, myself, Jeff, Graham, Matt Pichet, John from Windsor, or John from Owen Sound, or Matt and Cassidy from Windsor, or anyone pretty much that you've ever seen on my YouTube channel, it seems like Mike Rosehart's coming, potentially meet Kevin's coming, there's a wide range of very intelligent, hardworking individuals coming. If you've ever wanted to meet one of them, or some of them in person, or get to really spend some one-on-one time with them, I can't imagine a better opportunity than being essentially locked down on the same hotel compound with them for 40 plus hours. I don't see how it's going to happen.
Well, wait,
I don't see how it's ever going to be cheaper. So
exactly.
I really
I love the people that are already up on my board and they're all in right now and they're pumped and they're getting their buddies to come. And
holy shit! Thank you, Aiden. Appreciate the super chat, and looking forward to getting to meet you IRL at Vegas. Honestly, guys, Vegas. I'm personally excited because I know I'm going to make some really strong connections from it. At the end of the day, this Vegas event isn't about making money. This is really creating a community, a class of individuals. I want you to walk away feeling like you just made ideally 60 to 100 new best friends. That's my goal. That's what I want to accomplish with this event. And so some of the other ideas I'm currently considering for events that are going to go on in Vegas is an open mic pitch. And so what I mean by that is literally we're going to set up the big meeting room, and you'll be able to go up there and pitch the audience for 5 minutes on something. But you're going to need to be confident in what you're pitching, because then the next 5 minutes the audience can tear you down or ask questions or whatever. But we want you to hone your pitch. We want you to really dive. We want to hear what you're up to, but we also want to make sure that you're on your A game when you're talking to people, pitching them. And that's just one of the ideas. We want to do a Dragon's Den thing where we're going to bring and have different audience members and sponsors present opportunities. And again, like, this isn't going to be your generic blank pitch from a keynote speaker. You're going to be able to interact. You're going to be able to ask like hard-hitting questions. You're going to be able to dig under the surface. It's just, I'm super pumped.
Mm-hmm.
I kind of felt like I was rambling.
No, it's good. So maybe we just want to bring up as well. So Future Wiz here says, I wish I had money to go. Now I'm hearing a lot of this in my DMs on Instagram a lot. A lot of young, like 20-year-olds, 18-year-olds, starting out in their real estate careers, real estate investing careers, whatever they're doing, selling, running shoes, doesn't matter. It's one of these things, like, you have to just somehow scrape together this money, and you have to be there in order to get all these opportunities, and then they're going to call you lucky later on.
Absolutely.
But right now you want to sit at home and say, no, the mastermind's for somebody else. Somebody else is going to get rich. Somebody else is going to meet the right investor.
So like the next thing is so first of all, like Jeff has figured out some payment plans for people. So first of all, if like that, $1,300 Canadian, which like is only 1,000 American. So right there you got 30% discounts, but if you're American. But beyond that, like he's figured out some payment plans so you don't gotta get hit all at once. But beyond that, you got, over 60 days still, because it's going to be 60 days essentially as of September 10th. So 60 days, figure it out.
Well, yeah, we say that, right? And remember we looked around before, it's like, what, like these hats, do I need these hats?
Can you make, say, let's call it, could you make $15, $20 a day over the next 60 days? Canadian?
Yeah. Like tomorrow Saturday morning, could you not quickly Kijiji or Craigslist a garage sale, put a table at the end of your driveway, sell a few things, even if you made $100 tomorrow morning.
Oh yeah.
It's just hacking it away slowly, right?
Yeah, if you made $130 tomorrow, that would be 10%.
Yeah.
So and that's assuming that you're starting with $0 today.
And I have crap I should be doing it tomorrow just to get it out of my house. So one, you get to clean your house out. Two, you get to sell your stuff. And if you don't want to do that, take photos of it and put it on those let goes and Kijijis, like all that. Like so many people want to just like put up the barrier right away. Well, they see the ticket price and they're like.
And the key is, if you're coming from a mentality of always scarcity, Vegas isn't the right event for you. Vegas is for people that say, yes, I'm going to figure it out. The same way, like, we backed ourselves in the corner. This Vegas event is here.
Do you want to spend $70,000 American right now?
Right. So in theory, like, this event's probably going to cost us $100,000. And that's what we committed to by signing the papers before we sold the single ticket.
I wish I had people already coming before I did this.
Yeah, right? Like, we literally had no one committed. So, like, in theory, like, we're like, okay, we're going to do this. And, like, I was signing the papers in Vegas. And, like,
we're texting.
This just fucking happened.
And then my phone buzzes because my credit card went ding. And I'm like, we're in, baby. We're in.
They're just with the $4,000 deposit check.
But I talk about it on my YouTube channel all the time and on my course. Back yourself into a bit of a corner and you'll see how good you really are as a person to get out of it.
Like, and honestly, like, we don't, like,
don't go broke,
right? But like, stress does create growth, right? Like, whether you're trying, like, I don't grow muscles, but if you're trying to grow muscles, that stress is what grows the muscle. Same with by stressing yourself out intelligently by like committing to things and trying to figure it out. Like, that forces you to grow as a person.
Just simple. We had a bit of a maintenance issue at my property today.
Yeah.
And I wasn't as stressed about it because I've experienced so much more else. If that was the first taste of it, I would have been all stressed, so obviously. But so things like that. What else we got here?
So BRRRR just asked, hey guys, the ticket for OREC next year, this pre-sale OREC 2018 bonus. So yeah, that's the cheapest ticket you'll ever be able to pay for an OREC ticket. And so that's general admission, so it's as good as any other ticket that gets you into the OREC experience. And what the bonus is you essentially get all the video content that we have from OREC 2018. So like whether you attended and you just didn't take notes or you forgot some stuff, or whether you weren't able to attend and you wanted to see things like what Graham's talk was, or what Matthew Shea's talk was on how he develops his joint ventures, or whether you wanted to learn about the Windsor market from like Matt and Cassidy, who are also coming to Vegas, or if you want to learn about any of the markets we covered, so that was like Windsor, Sarnia, London, Owen Sound, Kitchener-Waterloo, St. Thomas, all those areas, you can learn all that. So essentially, I think there's like 12 or 14 hours of content just that you get for free by buying your ticket. There's only 25 available, so if you're interested in that, definitely buy it now. I promise you, no one will buy a ticket cheaper than that. Earlier today, Michael Rose, I'm going to call you out, Mike, because I know that you're not able to be on the internet right now, so you can't defend yourself, but this is a true story. He was here with his cameraman, and he's like, hey Matt, like, can my cameraman come for free? I just looked him dead in the eyes and said, Michael, no one's coming to OREC for free next year. You know, free was last year. That was when we were an unproven concept, when we were like just putting our all into it. We need to make up for that for 2018. So no free tickets, no freebies. But at the same time, if you can't get $200, or right now the pre-sale price is like, I don't know, $130 or something. Like, if you can't get that sort of value from our event, you honestly don't come to OREC. If you can't get $130 of value from the OREC experience, do not come, because you don't have the right mentality. Mm-hmm. Same with like if Vegas, right? Like,
don't come.
Because at the same time, like, don't buy a Vegas ticket and then just show up and be completely unprepared and closed off or introverted. Like, watch, once I start releasing them, watch all the videos of the individuals that are coming. Learn their backstory so that you can figure out who you want to meet before you even show up. Maybe even reach out to them on Instagram. Try and build a relationship. Like, I really want you guys to take the most value away from this. And so throughout this process, I'm going to document for you how I think the best way is for you to approach Vegas, but as well, like, do your own thing and figure out the best ways. But I want everyone to really focus on getting the most value. Same thing, the very first thing I said at OREC essentially was, I want you guys to get value from this. Mm-hmm. So if you're leaving this event and you're discouraged, you feel like you didn't get what you came for, like, come up to me, find me, and I will try and do my absolute best to introduce you to the people or give you the knowledge you need to get what you came for. And that's same with Vegas, but like times 10. So like, if you come to Vegas and the first day you feel like you didn't get your value, come up to me, tell me what you came for, and I will drop everything and try and make that happen for you. Can't make miracles happen, but I could probably get you a selfie with Graham, or get you to sit down with Matt Pichet and hear about his joint venture projects, or I could probably get John from Seeded Development's ear, and you could probably talk to him about Windsor investing, or all of the plethora of other experts and hustlers and just inspiring individuals is honestly what it's about. Like, there's going to be so many inspiring stories. Every single person that's coming to Vegas has an awesome story.
Yeah.
That's it.
And, you know, my world's pretty small. I'm not sure if you guys have traveled a lot, but if you come to Vegas now and you're going to meet Aiden, the Australian, here now, right?
Yeah.
So you might have been coming to Vegas for some real estate investing advice, or realtor, estate agent advice, or any other type of entrepreneurial, Shopify, whatever we're going to have. And then maybe you're going to have a surf shop in Australia all of a sudden with Aiden. Like, you just never know. Or you're going to be investing with Freck in Germany.
Right, yeah.
And bonus of what I have around this world, and this will give me 100 more people, will be, now you can stay with Freck potentially in Germany. Or you're going to text him and be like, where should I go?
Germany,
I'm in Berlin. And he's going to be like, you got to go to this restaurant. And you guys don't understand how much currency that actually is.
Absolutely.
It's time saving and networking. And Freck said, talk to Joe that works at this restaurant or whatever.
Yeah.
And that's how my world works right now.
Yeah.
And if you've never experienced this, you have to come out to an event like this. You're going to meet these people. They're going to go back home, and then they're going to be all in your ecosystem now, and they're going to follow you. And you'll go on to have kids and families, and these people will continue to watch your journey on the Facebooks and all that.
100%. And like, let's say that you have this amazing idea, and you're like, oh man, like, this idea is going to make me rich if someone would just invest in me. Like, this is the event. There's going to be people there with deep pockets. Like, if you think like myself or Jeff, or like, there's some way deeper pockets there.
1 million?
But at the same time, they're extremely intelligent individuals, so you need to bring your A game. Like, none of these fly-by-night scam artists, none of that bullshit. Like, you're gonna need to bring your A game if you want to find money partners there. But if you want to find money partners there will be money everywhere at this event. So, yeah, guys.
100%.
And so I saw Stephen Hickey jump in the comment section. He actually just recently showed me, I think he's looking at like a 2.5% rural property out on the East Coast. I'm not sure if you're coming out, man, but you're always flying, aren't you? You might as well just fly into Vegas and hang with us for a day or two. Hey, what's up, everyone else that's joining? We got Ray. We were talking about you earlier, Ray, about how through OREC you were able to, I believe, you and Lee connected, and Lee was the one that hooked you up with John. And we're just saying how you're crushing it now in Windsor due to John's mentorship. So yeah, Steven's been to Vegas 6 or 7 times. Karen just jumped in, or Karan just jumped into the comment section. What's up? Future Wiz. So I'm supposed to pay and travel to make connections, but 90% of the people there will also be trying to make connections. How is being surrounded by newbies like me supposed to help? I'm not sure if you were paying attention. Like I just said, like me, Jeff, Matt Bichet, John from Seeded Developments, John Kepler, who's the king of Owen Sound. We got the king of Windsor. We got Graham Stephan. Like I don't think these people are newbies.
My buddy Dean.
Yeah, and MIT CPA.
Potentially other money partners of $9 million. So maybe you can go talk to them.
I understand your perspective, Future, but like remember, there's 63 rooms. Every person we just named is taking a room. So like if you're coming to the event, you're paying for a room. And that's what, like, I guess I maybe didn't do a good job of, like, you get your 2-night stay, your food, your drinks, blah, 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 included in your event ticket price. But, like, literally right there, just like Graham, Matt Bichet, Jeff Wybo, Matt McKeever, John Ceda from Ceda Developments, John Kepler, Matt and Cassidy, Mitt, I'm sure I'm forgetting more. But that right there was 8. So, like, the fact that we have 63 rooms total, that was, like, 20% right there. And who else knows who's coming, right? Like,
and then he's going on to say like, well, we're the 10%, right? I guess.
Yeah.
So like, you know what? I'm more interested to meet the 90% newbies as well.
Well, like at the same time, like Adam Martin's coming, like, and so for perspective, Adam Martin came on our limo tour in January, met us.
He borrowed $40.
Yes, he literally borrowed $40 to come on that limo tour, and then.
So borrow $1,300 to go on this.
And then him and his buddy Michael Burgess both just like were like, Matt, we don't know how, we don't know what, but we need to work with you. And I was just so impressed by their shit that both of them got jobs like on the spot working with me. And Michael was like my cameraman, and like they got to see everything about my business. Adam Martin's still working with me. Michael stopped because he went off to start his own landscaping hustle, and I think now he's starting up like his own like green sprouting business thing. Anyways, like, at the end of the day, it's problems or profits, guys, right? Like, if you want to find solutions, if you want to find your profits, I think you're going to find a lot of opportunities for them in Vegas. But at the same time, if you come to Vegas with the wrong attitude, it's like you won't get value from it. I'm not going to lie. Same with if you came to OREC.
We don't want you there because you're going to be a cancer to our...
And that's not to say you are, man. We understand your perspective. Like,
that person of like, well, I paid, this better be good kind of mentality, right?
So for those of you that joined late, we're just talking about our Vegas mastermind. It's November 10th and 11th. And at the same time, like, you can't literally even just go buy a ticket. You gotta buy a ticket through one of these guys.
Yeah.
So like, we have to chat with you. We gotta get to know you a little bit because like, we don't want scam artists. We don't want fly-by-night guys.
And yes, Vegas, like, this better be good. I get that daily for the Wybo limo tour for the last year and a half. Like, is it gonna be good? We're gonna see good properties. Well, I don't know. I've done 14 of them. They haven't folded up the limo yet, but and everybody's always pumped about it. And there's a million hashtags about it, and everybody's like, "When's the next limo tour?" But no, we'll make sure it's good for you, new guys.
And I see Derek jumped in the comments. He bought his Wybo limo ticket earlier today, so that's awesome.
Oh yeah, I didn't know who that was.
So
where's Derek from?
I don't even.
Comment there.
Let us know how you discovered us or how we know you. And if you guys are DMing me and stuff, I get back to essentially all my DMs eventually, assuming you're not super rude or anything or entitled in them. But sometimes it takes me a little bit to get back to them. But someone asked a BRRRR question on Section 8. So Section 8 is like lower income BRRRRs. You know, as long as you have the right management technique in place, I think that it's a great opportunity. But if you're not used to dealing with that profile tenant, if you're not going to learn about how to deal with that profile tenant, you're not going to hire the right managers to deal with that profile tenant, it can be a nightmare. So you need to really approach it intelligently. But again, that's just one of those random tips that you'll hear all over the Vegas, compound. And yeah, I'm super pumped. And same with like, if you want a taste of what that's going to feel like, come out to the Wybo limo tour. We have someone that's like, he's not only flying in for the Wybo limo tour, but like, he's coming from California and he's going to hit up.
Yeah, and he's coming on the tour. So he's in town for a week and a half or 2 weeks, and he's going to come on the tour. So.
Hey, Future Wiz, yeah, I get it. You're not into it. No worries, man. Like I said, not everyone needs to come. And at the same time, I'm curious if you think that this is some sort of scam we're pulling. Because, like I would actually be very fascinated. And I'd like to know how long you've been a member of my community and stuff. Just curious. And if you're actually a random person that just jumped in this live stream, then I completely understand how you don't understand what we're up to and stuff, and I get that. But, you know, over 400 videos now on YouTube of just us giving, and yeah, that's pretty much the deal. Actually, whatever. Thanks BT89, appreciate it. From Masonville? Like, as in just in London, Ontario, or is Masonville somewhere else? And I'm just not worldly enough, Jeff. Here from Masonville.
Yeah, I don't know. But a couple people keep coming in and don't know what we're talking about.
So, hey, Vincent Chan is just asking about if we're hosting any real estate meetup groups. What are you looking for?
On my limo tour.
Oh, yeah, I don't know where it's been recently. But yeah, we're always hosting events in London, Ontario. So jump onto my Instagram and you can see my link tree there. And I got links to the London on Fire meetup group. We meet up once a month. I got a link to the Real meetup group. We meet up usually once a month, but we're taking September off. But we'll be meeting up October like 10th, I think it is, or somewhere around there. Do you know when the next Andrea is?
Yeah, I think it's...
So Jeff's going to look up when the next Andrea is. There's also the Bigger Pockets London, Ontario meetup. You can find that on Bigger Pockets, or find Matt Pierce and just send him a DM and he'll hook you up with that, or find the Facebook page for that.
Okay, so I'll be at ONREA, Ontario Real Estate Investors Association. It's at Best Western Lamplighter Inn, September the 19th. So I'll be pitching the limo tour at it.
Yeah,
so
and so like if you've never been to one before, it's free to
so
attend.
it's free to attend.
Our buddy Sean Allen does it.
This time we have these people from Double E Properties, GTA investors. They're going to be talking to us.
Oh,
and
cool.
then I think we just got an OREX sale there, by the way.
Yeah, there's a few people that were going to you.
After that, it's just like networking and hanging out and talking to some people that have, like Sean Allen is the guy that hosts it, and he buys, his goal this year is to buy 20 properties in 2018. He did it in January.
Yeah.
I mean, he was forced to keep working.
Mm-hmm. I forgot Dan DeVoe is also coming out, so he's our Sarnia expert. So,
Steve Hamoon.
Oh, yeah.
Mortgage broker at KW.
Yeah.
He's going to be coming. He's just working out his details.
And like all these guys, or like a lot of them are 7-figure plus net worths. So there's a lot of very interesting characters there. But at the same time, you don't necessarily need to be that person. But like at the end of the day, the people that want to come to Vegas and stuff, you're either going to be bringing like money, time, or opportunity. So money is pretty self-explanatory. I probably don't need to explain that. Time is that you're willing to commit to something. So for example, like 2 years ago, there was a real estate guru here in London, Ontario, giving a talk, Stefan Arnio. He gave a talk, he was doing a book signing, and I started chatting with him, and long story short, he kind of recognized me from one of my YouTube videos because I specifically targeted him by doing a YouTube video on him and trying to get his attention. And I had all the time in the world because I retired from my day job and was like, hey, I'll come live with you in Windsor and make YouTube videos for you. And so that was my offer to him because I didn't necessarily have more money than him. I didn't have an amazing opportunity to present him, but I had my time. So I made that offer to him of, hey, I'll come sleep on your couch. And I lived with him for 3 weeks, learned a ton about his business model, learned a ton about his business, and got to know him and his staff better. So like, for example, those of you that feel like you don't necessarily have the financial resources to make deals happen, then hopefully you got time. And if you don't have money or time, then bring an opportunity. But bring a real opportunity, like not just some random property you found on the MLS and you hope it's a good deal, but find a real opportunity. Like if you've been trying to get your startup to go, if you've been trying to, or you got a great development plan and all you need is the money and someone to give you a chance, like that to me is what Vegas is about. Oh, cool. Vincent Chan was saying he just bought Rich Dad, Poor Dad. Again, that to me is the gateway drug book into becoming a real estate investor. It's an extremely easy read, and you know, it's light on details, it's light on tactical information, but it's great for strategy. Like I know it was probably one of the books that got you into it too.
First book I read 2008, and
Yeah.
I was not on the path to any of this, and then that totally changed me.
Yeah, and
I was gonna do the Canadian thing, pack your lunch,
yeah,
go to work, get your salary, go to Mexico once a year, and call it a day.
yeah, and wait 30, 40 years, and then you
But
get
you
to
get a
retire.
pension.
Yeah,
Nice pension.
as long as they're willing to give you one, and you work pretty much for the government.
And in Canada, it's pretty hard to keep your job for 30 years now, unlike our parents. But
Yeah, like the economy's constantly changing, and that's what I really like about investing in real estate. That's what I like about like the YouTube, the social media influence stuff we're doing. It's like having trickles of income to me is really important. It creates a lot of resiliency in my lifestyle and my plan for the future. I'd highly recommend you guys consider it too. And again, like at Vegas, that's kind of the plan, is to have a lot of different people from a large spectrum of businesses and opportunities so that we can all kind of sample from each other. That's kind of my goal.
sounds like Dirty Burger's gonna come.
Oh yeah, man. Cool.
So it
Awesome.
says, I'm going for
You
the
spin on comment
contacts.
section.
I'm going for the contacts and the escorts. I don't know if we can help you.
Vegas
out
has
with-
lots of options, I'm
We
sure.
don't have many contacts, but we can probably help you out with. No, wait.
I'm sure you can get yourself into all sorts of trouble in Vegas if you so choose. Oh shit, BT89 found us through Andrew Smallman, our new cameraman.
cool.
So that's funny. That's a small world.
For Aiden, I'll talk to you in the DMs if you want on that one. Put my military.
Okay, cool. Yeah, and just checking out. There's lots of comments flying in here.
Although we couldn't convince Future Wiz, he thinks we're lying about how awesome Vegas is gonna be.
Okay.
Bullshit detector is going off, to be honest. Okay, fine.
Cool. Yeah. No. Yeah. You don't have to go.
Yeah.
And at the same time, maybe we'll see you next year. It's gonna cost double. But yeah, I'm just really excited by it. Again, like whatever. Beyond that, like talking smaller again, the Wybo Limo Tour, very excited by it.
Yeah.
But in general, just talking more generic now, Jeff's about to move.
Oh yeah. So if you don't know, I live downstairs at the moment.
Yeah, I live here. Jeff lives there.
And tons of boxes, moving day, all the stress that comes with new properties and trying to move and then do business and sell override tickets, limo tour tickets, Vegas tickets, everything it is. Meetings, meetups,
Yeah.
clients calling, want stuff, open houses this weekend. Yeah, lots of fun.
And like a hermit crab, I'm going to scuttle into Jeff's leftover shell afterwards, and I'm going to move downstairs.
And then turn this into
Airbnb.
Yeah.
Because guys, it's got to be an Airbnb, man.
Because I watched it on his
Airbnb, I'm
channel.
so
I
excited.
saw it on his channel.
All
There's
these
Phil
videos always
Wybo
talking.
guy on his channel. I was like, interesting.
I'm not sure if I trust this Phil character, but
He seems shady. Actually, he is shady. Sorry. Younger brother, sorry.
yeah. Sorry, I got us off topic there.
Well, we're talking about Lord things that I'm moving.
Oh, yeah.
So, yeah, I'm moving to my McMansion to watch for some videos. It's not a mansion. I call it mansion because the mortgage
Yeah.
is really big. So.
Yeah, I see Dirty Burger just asked if we do any flips or just birds. So you kind of like did an interesting partnership on a flip recently. So like you kind of dabbled. You were on the peripheral.
Yeah, typical Jeff Wybo, the money part of it, right?
Yeah.
These hands,
Jeff's not swinging a hammer.
his hands have been counting money all day.
Yeah.
Like callous hand. But no, yeah, I hooked up a guy needed money from me and he wanted me to sell the property, so then I invested with him and I got the listing as well, which I brought my brother on actually to save myself some time and made ROI on my money and got commission on the sale, so it was pretty good.
And so like I've never done a flip. You could maybe argue that I accidentally did one when I did my Lie Street property, but like
Yeah.
I held it for 2 years. I burned it to myself, and then the market just kept going up, and so that was
I'm
property.
sure their definition of a flip would probably be like trying to
Quick
sell it
turnover.
as
So like
90 days.
that's our buddy Sean Allen.
Right.
That's his bread and butter.
Yeah.
That's where he makes a lot of his money. In fact,
And Sean doesn't swing a hammer either.
no, yeah,
He'll just be like, numbers don't work.
he doesn't even wear shoes.
Whereas
He wears flip flops.
every property flip flop.
Flip flops and shorts. I don't know, how has he not got bed bugs or bit by fleas? Because every time I don't wear pants and socks into a property, I get bit by fleas. Everyone else is just walking around like fleas aren't a thing.
Yeah, you get.
WTF.
You've been hit annually.
Yeah, yes, it has been.
Go
And
back and watch the old Matt McKeever.
one of the very first
I got
videos.
fleas.
Yeah, I got bit. Yeah, that actually, yeah. It literally is like once a year. It takes me about a year to forget that lesson.
Well, the best
And I
is
get
we
pissed.
got out of a property. I'm wearing pants. You're wearing shorts. I'm talking to a client. You're sitting there like
I was
scratching.
like,
and I'm
why are my legs on fire?
Matt, can you just sit still for like 1 minute? I'm talking here.
Yeah.
And then I look and like my pants are covered in fleas. Your skin is covered in fleas. Brushing them off.
Right. And I see we got 28 people watching, but only 11 likes. So if you guys would smash that like button, it would definitely be an ego boost for myself. I really appreciate it. Otherwise, jump in the comment section. Let us know. Or any questions about Vegas, limo tour, or anything else, we'll try and cover it. I see Wiz had to jump off, but overall, he kind of left on the nice note. So I appreciate that. I'm glad you're going to stay in the fam. So
yeah, I'm skeptical too. Like,
well, it takes a while to warm up to anything, right? Like, what's Graham Stephan's scam? He just hasn't made the ask yet, but he's got to be up to something.
It's gotta be. Can't be giving us value every single week, 3 times a week, at 6:30 upload time.
Yeah.
Eastern.
So Chandler just wanted a quick rundown on the tickets. So yeah, I can do that real quick. So essentially, this is for the Vegas event. It's 1,300 Canadian for a single person and a single room occupancy. That's 2 nights stay, drinks, food, all that good stuff. Otherwise, and this is pre-sale pricing until September 10th, then it's $2,200 for a double occupancy and either like a king size bed, and then like you and your spouse or business partner if you're close, or you can get 2 double beds. So you can get like a hotel room with 2 separate beds. The 2, like you and a business partner or buddy can come, and again, it's going to cost you $2,200 pre-sale pricing. Then the moment pre-sale pricing's over, we're increasing it by another $200-$300, and it's slowly going to eke up because, like, at the end of the day, the margins on this are really tight. I got a feeling for everyone that comes to Vegas, I'll do a private video for you guys sharing the exact numbers behind this event after it happens, so you guys can see whether we got filthy rich off of it, whether we lost 20 grand. Because right now it's looking like the latter, and it's literally just the way we're pricing. It's really expensive hotels when they're doing the food service, and they won't allow outside food service. So I don't know. WTF?
What is it like? Some stupid like $50 a head.
Yeah, like for a meal essentially, and it's like
we're gonna get American chicken wings
for a coffee break. $16 for a coffee break, tea or pop. $16 per person.
Yeah.
What the hell?
And then, half are gonna do it anyways. They're gonna be walking away,
and so Aiden's got a good question about why we picked Vegas. So I think there's a handful of reasons behind it. The one is like, first of all, Vegas has a certain cachet. It's also the sort of city that people will like fly into for a short period of time. So like you might be able to, this is a 2-day event. If you want to go to Vegas otherwise, like you can spend the first 2 days there, then come to our event.
A typical Vegas trip is usually 4 days, something like that.
For a lot of people,
don't stay a week in Vegas, you'll regret it.
And like also Vegas is a very cheap flight destination from anywhere in the US or Canada. And I don't know if that holds true internationally. I assume so. I don't see why it wouldn't. But that was a factor because we wanted you guys to be able to get here cheap. We figured that if we hosted in London, Ontario, it wouldn't have the same cachet. As well, a lot of us are social media influencers or aspiring to become social media influencers. So Vegas has a lot of nice scenery. This hotel in particular is extremely interesting, quirky. It's got all kinds of like Gothic and Art Deco styles. Like there's just like all kinds of like suits of armor, giant like statues of lions and stuff. It's got a great pool area, and we wanted to find a venue that was big but not too big, right? So 63 rooms allows us to keep it to a manageable amount. Depending on whether people get double room occupancy or single room occupancy, we're looking at about like, call it 65 to 100 attendees. And that includes speakers, that includes like our cameramen, that includes our helpers. So at the same time, like we really want to create a close-knit family vibe with this event. So that was part of the reason as well. And yeah, it's just Vegas, baby. Vegas.
America's playground, right?
Yeah. So
like Cincinnati really didn't have the ring to it.
Yeah. Might have been a little bit cheaper though. Yeah. But hey, maybe after this event, once we've proven ourselves, we might be able to go to a different destination.
We talked about LA actually.
Yeah.
And then Graham even suggested just do Vegas. Like I think America is used to flying to Vegas as well.
Yeah.
Versus they're not used to flying to LA as much, I think, because everybody just vacations there. Same with the Canadians.
So BT89 wants to know when we started investing in real estate. I started in 2010 when I was 25. Bought a single family house with a bunch of bedrooms. moved into one and did what we call house hacking. So I just had a bunch of roommates, essentially tried to live for free. That's the goal with house hacking, or at least it is for myself, for a lot of people who watch my channel. And Jeff, you started.
Yeah, and I've got a good video on Matt's channel about it. I bought in 2012 a triplex, lived in the basement unit, 2-bedroom, and then rented out the 3-bedroom and the 3-bedroom to university students, and then lived for free in my first year of investing.
Yeah.
And then from living for free, you're able to take a bit of a break on the hustle of paying for your bills, and you're able to like do some other stuff.
And it just allows you some like bandwidth and capacity where you can like think things through. You're not in survival mode. You're not in panic. You're not in scarcity. And so if you can keep your personal overhead low, it then allows you to do a bunch of weird, quirky things that other people can't. Take chances that other people can't. All that stuff. So yeah. And so I saw Aiden's teasing Mastermind Brisbane coming soon. So
set it up.
Yeah.
We're back.
Hey guys, sorry about that. I got a phone call. I thought my phone was on airplane mode. That's my bad.
How many, we'll get right back into it. How many people total are you planning on? And is it just the two of you that will be presenting? What'll all be happening at this mastermind? Good questions.
So no, it's so there's gonna be, like I said, about 65 to 100 people ideally attending, because we have a 63-room hotel that we bought out for 2 days. So it's only going to be us and our attendees on the hotel grounds. So if you bump into someone in the elevator, by the pool, at the bar, at the restaurant, wherever, that's going to be your opportunity to know that they're there for the same event. It's an immediate, easy way to have a bonding experience and get to network with them. Honestly, myself and Jeff, we'll probably just be the MCs. We won't be giving a lot of the talks or anything. Like my OREC event, there's only going to be very quick, like, I kind of call it like ADD keynotes, where like any of our keynote speakers, and most of them are just going to be our attendees, so it's going to be guys like Graham Stephan, it's going to be guys like John in Windsor, Ontario, John from Owen Sound, Matt Pichet, the Fruitful Investor, all those great individuals, and they're only going to get like 10-15 minutes to talk. But if they say something interesting, if they do something that piques your interest, then because they're staying at the same hotel, you can just go up and chat with them and really dive deep into whatever it is you have questions. As well, the hotel's got like a great layout, so there's like a chapel, so we can do breakout sessions in the chapel. We can do breakout sessions by the pool, in the pool lounge. We can do it in the restaurant, the bar. So essentially, there will be presentations and you will get value from them, but the biggest value is just going to be the people you meet and the opportunities that come from that. And so like some of the things we're going to do is, I was saying earlier on the stream, we want to do like a open mic pitch where audience members, so yourself, Chandler, if you got an idea, if you got an opportunity that you want to find partners with, whether it's strategic partners because you need someone that understands an aspect of the business or how to scale, or whether you need money to raise, you'll be able to get up on stage like an open mic at a comedy night or a poetry slam and talk for 5 minutes about what you're up to. But you're going to have to be prepared, because then the audience can tear you apart or ask questions for the next 5 minutes. And again, it'll just be a great way for you to introduce yourself. Like I mentioned, every person that's coming to the Vegas Mastermind, I want them to do a 3 to 5 minute introduction video. And I'm going to share all the introduction videos on my YouTube channel just to show you who's coming out to this event so you can get to know them. And again, it's just about building these lasting, deep connections. We've created an amazing community here in London, Ontario, and we want to expand it into an international aspect. The way Jeff said that, like, having friends in Germany, in California, in Australia, that's only ever going to aid you on your journey, regardless of where you're going with that journey. Whether it's about making Grant Cardone levels of money, whether it's about making like just enough to reach financial independence and get to be a beach on or a bum on a beach in Southeast Asia, whatever your goal is, we want to help you succeed with that, and that's what the goal of this Vegas Mastermind is. Because like, when you succeed because you met, whatever, maybe my buddy Mitt CPA, who's doing a self-driving car startup, and they're in their currently, I think, like their Series A or Series B round of raising funds, and you buy into it, and you make a shit ton of money from that, and then you buy that giant villa or compound in Costa Rica. Just remember the guys that introduced you to this, so that we can come down and just chill on your compound for a week.
I just want 3 days by the beach, please.
Right? Like, it's literally just, you know, that's what it's about, is truly about the people. Like, had I not networked with Jeff and met him, and the thing is, like, someone that wants to play devil's advocate with us, I don't need to pay that money to network. You don't, but you're gonna have to put in a shit ton of work, and you're gonna kiss a lot of frogs before you find your prince, your business partner, the person that's gonna take you to the next level, or your new BFF. And we're just trying to screen it. So like I said, it's not like you can just go online and buy a ticket. You gotta slide into one of our DMs, and we'll chat with you, make sure that we feel it's a good fit, and we'll make that shit happen. But at the same time, if you've been a regular commenter on my YouTube channel for a while, I'm probably gonna have a soft spot for you. So
Exactly.
yeah.
So far, most people that have hit us up or have been watching some of our content, obviously. So.
Aiden's got a question. Do you guys have any requests for Australian food you want to try? And so John from Windsor just jumped in the comment section and was like, so this is why I went to Boys Hill. Yes, John. What else am I going to be doing on a Friday night at 8 p.m.?
I'm not picking up his call.
Right? Yeah, I'm not picking up business calls. I'm not going out for drinks. I'm here. I'm grounded, making YouTube videos.
So what are we going to have from Australia?
Is
kangaroo a delicacy?
I'm not sure if that's vegan, Jeff.
Okay. Oh.
Yeah, I'm really naive. I'm not even sure. Like, I know, I listened to a podcast called We Have Concerns. I know they always talk about, like, tam-tams and, like, a couple of things that they love from Australia or whatever. I've never been to Australia, so I don't know. Actually, it's one of the places I don't think Jeff's been either.
I've never been.
So, we need that excuse to go to Brisbane.
Yeah.
I really hope I'm pronounced. I'm always scared the moment. In the moment it's like a place
What's the capital of Australia?
I could think of, like, 3 cities, so I have no idea if it's like Sydney, Melbourne, or Brisbane.
No, none of those.
Yeah, I wouldn't know. Same with, like, I wouldn't expect a lot of foreign people to know the capital of Canada. Like, oh, you don't know the capital is Ottawa? Yeah, it doesn't matter to me. What is it?
Ian just wrote it in Canberra.
Canberra. Definitely know it. That sounds like an Ottawa type place where it's like you're
That's why, like,
you're like 6 largest
and
cities.
I'm sure Ian will probably know, like, most Americans, Canadians would probably just say Sydney right away.
Yeah.
It's like, yeah.
Yeah, like I
Brazil's
I
not
was like,
Rio.
yeah,
Like
I was 99% sure it wasn't Sydney because like I know that that's like the thing that they like to get people on.
But the capital of Canada is London, Ontario, isn't
It almost was, except for we were afraid.
Look at our transit.
We were afraid that Americans were going to too easily invade us, so we
pushed it up
moved
to
up to
Upper
Ottawa.
Canada.
Yeah. It was like, oh, it can't be like 2 hours from the border. Let's put it like 2.5 hours.
We'll call it Upper Canada.
Right.
They'll never find
They'll
it.
get so confused because it's up the river. Yeah.
So hey Matt, what do I need to know as a first-time home buyer? Sorry for the random
No,
questions.
no worries. So because our cameraman Andrew Smallman introduced you to the channel, I'm assuming that you're in Ontario, Canada, so that's going to kind of color my answer. But as a first-time home buyer, one thing you should be aware of is that in Canada, at least, you can get what's called an insured mortgage. Same thing in the U.S. And so what that means is you don't have to put down 20% on the property. So, for example, in our market, you can put 5 to 10% down on a single family or duplex, or you can put,
Or triplex or fourplex.
and so you can put 5% down on a single family or duplex, or you can put 10% down on a triplex or fourplex.
Yeah.
And so that really allows you to kind of get that property faster. As well as a first-time buyer in Ontario, you're not going to have to pay land transfer tax. That gets waived. I'm not sure if the Toronto one still applies or not.
Yeah,
As a
because
first-time
Toronto
buyer.
has 2.
Yeah, you can hit
Ontario
twice.
and Toronto.
Yeah. Beyond that, I think one of the biggest mistakes I see first-time home buyers buy is buying too much house or getting pressured by family to buy the wrong house. Personally, I would strongly recommend for any first-time buyer to really think through your life, first of all. So, do you see yourself living in that area, that city, long-term? If not, what's your exit strategy? Because the costs associated with acquiring a property are expensive. You got to pay transaction fees, like the lawyer, there's realtor costs when you go to sell it, and so there's all these factors that a lot of people don't necessarily take into consideration. So if you're not going to be living in that property for an extended period of time, and you're not going to be able to do forced appreciation through strategic renovations, buying the property may not be the right idea for you. Otherwise, if you are a first-time buyer, I would highly recommend you consider house hacking. And so we got tons of videos on my channel about it as well. Michael Rosehart's done a ton of stuff on the on house hacking. But let's say you're like, oh man, like I want to buy a place so I can house hack, but I'm not going to stay here long. Transaction fees are going to eat me up. Rent hack. And so what you can do with rent hacking is rent out a place, and then maybe you get subletters, and you're gonna have to check with your landlord to make sure it's kosher. But most of the time, if you explain it, if you build the narrative correctly, you'll be able to get what you want. As well, now we got Airbnb, and so that's a great opportunity to rent out as well. Whether you say rent out a 2 or 3 bedroom house or apartment and Airbnb 1 or 2 of the bedrooms, or like there's just a lot of solutions there. Same with like start networking at landlord events and other events that are going to bring real estate investors, and potentially maybe you can find some of them that don't have the time to get max rents for their property, and you might be able to figure out a win-win there where you can be a living property manager. So there's a ton of options. So definitely don't just assume immediately that buying a house is the best financial decision. Run the numbers, think about your specific scenario, and figure out what's going to be best for you. Yeah, that's kind of
He's probably just sitting there being like,
yeah. The nice thing is you can always replay this, and you can play it at halftime speed if I spoke too fast.
That's right. Lee's like, wait, is this the Cash Flow Go show?
Right? What's up, Lee? Appreciate you jumping in the comment section as always. So if you were Rainer here asked a question: if you were an investor and became a real estate agent, would you be able to bypass the cost by representing yourself on your own investment purchases? I'll defer to the realtor. So if you're a realtor, you have to pay realtor fees.
When you're buying.
Yeah.
You could ask for it or you could not take it. So.
And like you're still gonna have to pay like
your brokerage.
And like if you're selling your property as a realtor, you're still gonna have to pay the other realtor. But
in theory,
on the buying,
unless they didn't want anything.
Yeah, but on the buying end, just remember the seller's always the one that's actually paying the realtor fees.
Right, but you can use that potentially as negotiating.
As a network.
You could take away your commission to get a better deal, if that made sense. I've seen you come in and asking and still ask for your commission, or lower and didn't, So.
Yeah.
And then you just gotta think, if you're doing a transaction with your brokerage, you're gonna have to be paying your brokerage as well. So I've seen it done strategically as well, where my brother, I think when he was buying property, he overpaid a bit, but then he asked for a crazy ton of commission. So then it was like crazy cash back.
There's definitely.
So like, let's say the property was $300,000, and then he asked for maybe 3-4%, something stupid, but he offered higher. So that to the seller it was like, well, this is just a wash. But to my brother, he got back cash right away in the form of income. Yeah. But it was like kind of money right back in his pocket.
Yeah, so there's lots of creative opportunities there, but on the flip side of that, there's certain disclosures you need to make as a realtor. So it's definitely something you want to take into consideration on both sides of things. Mm-hmm. But it definitely has its advantages and its disadvantages, so just something to be aware of. I saw that John just shared another tip for a first-time buyer. You should be aware of liens that could potentially be on the property and whether it's vacant or not. Absolutely great advice. As well, most local municipalities and stuff, there's a way that you can search to see if there's been like any, infractions or building permits pulled on it that haven't been closed, different things like that.
So for London, it's the property inquiry system. And all these realtors messaged me, look, think about yours today. Is it licensed? And I'm like, do your own homework, dude.
Yeah, absolutely. And so like in London, Ontario, we have rental licensing. And so that's something you'd want to take into consideration.
And you can just look.
Yeah. And the great thing is, like
you don't need your realtor. If you are a realtor, then you can do it, but it's on the public website.
And it'll teach you more about the property as well. Like you'll figure out what the city considers it for bedrooms. Because sometimes you'll find that realtors, like bad realtors, won't fully disclose things or will misrepresent things.
Or honestly, just it's really hard to figure it out sometimes.
Yeah, and sometimes just they don't know themselves, right?
Like you try to walk in, like, get the fuck out of here.
Actually, so one more thing for a first-time buyer to be really aware of. A lot of bad realtors, a lot of shady realtors, the moment they meet you, they're going to try and force you to sign a BRRRR. I highly recommend you consider not doing that.
Down with BRRRRs?
Down with BRRRRs. I'm anti-BRRRR, guys. But what BRRRR is a buyer rep agreement. And so in the worst case scenario, what I've seen happen is a buyer gets kind of suckered in by a bad realtor, signs the BRRRR, and then the agent stops essentially representing them, stops wanting to show them properties. But if that person goes out and decides to buy a property on their own, technically they're still responsible to ensure that that agent gets paid whatever the commission was agreed upon in that BRRRR. They will tell you things like, this is only here to protect you, this is only to make sure that I'm representing your fiduciary duty. I understand that perspective. I disagree with it because I've seen so many agents not worry about the fiduciary duty of their clients. I've heard it from agents when we're networking and stuff, these agents that talk about like how they got their clients overpaid, but damn it, they got a good commission. And like, I'm not saying all agents are bad, because not extremes are never the case, right? Not all agents are bad, not all agents are angels either. But it's something that I think a lot of first-time buyers unfortunately fall victim to. They sign abroad with the first agent they meet at an open house, and then they're left in the wind, and they don't get the service or the advice that they need in order to make the right decisions. So that definitely, sorry about getting up on my soapbox there, guys.
You got a little angry there.
I did. It's a trigger.
You can see the way I position myself as a realtor. Like people are coming to me a lot more than me making them sign it. I'm almost like, go away. Like, hey Jeff, can I have something that's under 150,000 in cash flows and it's on the market? It's like, oh, great, another one. But versus these realtors that lock you into that contract, and you got to ask, like, are they providing you value, or like, are you then going out and looking for other properties? I have a lot of the off-market knowledge, so then that's why a lot of people do hit me up all the time. But yeah, Phil and I met this one realtor in Kitchener, and he was going over, he's brand new, so he was all like talking about the buyer representation agreement. He's like, you trust me, I trust you, let's just sign it here.
Yeah.
It's like so scripty. All the stuff that they teach at brokerages and all that. And like, if you, as a realtor, if any realtors are out there, if you need to get paid from that piece of paper, and like you have to lock in Matt, because we looked at a property, you're doing it wrong, because Matt doesn't need you.
Yeah.
I need you, I need Matt. And that's I think it's the wrong way. It's like, we're providing Vegas, and you guys need to come to Vegas, right? We're not like begging for you to come.
And like, the fact that like a lot of agents do almost treat a BRRRR as a way to trick into getting a client is such an unfortunate thing. But I saw there was a question about, appreciate you guys blowing up the chat too, I really do. So Sergeant Snake Eyes asked, if you refinance to buy another home, when do you pay back that loan? So usually when you're refinancing your loan, refinancing your property, essentially what you're doing is just getting a new mortgage. So like any other mortgage, you're going to pay it down over the terms of that mortgage. So traditionally, when I'm buying a property, let's say I bought it and originally got a $100,000 mortgage, now I'm refinancing it and getting a $120,000 mortgage. I'll end up paying that extra $20,000 over, or $20,000 just over the life of that mortgage. So if I refinanced it on a 20-year term, it'll be over 20 years. If it's a 25-year term, 25 years, etc., etc. So it's really no different than any other mortgage that you're going to pay off or pay down. So hopefully that helps. Aiden was saying he's in Australia. We have been holding him hostage. Come and get him. And I missed
They're having their own conversations.
I appreciate you guys having your own conversations in the comment section, because technically, regardless of what you're talking about, it counts as engagement, and that's all YouTube cares. But really do appreciate the 25 of you that are currently watching this.
You guys have no lives, like, it's Friday.
Yeah, I mean, like, shouldn't you guys be doing better things? Shouldn't we be? No. This is what it's about. It's about, like, at the same time, like, we're having fun. Like, this isn't...
We did the Cash Flow to Go consistently every Friday for...
It was, like, over 4 months. Like,
easily,
just in and out. Like, not... Actually, I think way more. Probably, it might be closer to, like, 6
half
or 8.
a year at least,
yeah. And, it's one of those things. At the same time, like, for those of you that are thinking about creating your own content online, I highly recommend it, because I know myself, I became a better speaker. And, well, think about that. If you think I'm a bad speaker, it was definitely worse in the beginning. It's just, with anything, practice makes perfect. So whether you're networking, whether you're trying to talk in front of an audience, whether you're trying to learn about real estate, just put in the effort, put in the extra hours. When everyone else is going out to the club on Friday night, put in the work. But at the same time, you can still have a lot of the same life value that most people do. For example, my buddy Joe, back when we were all just graduating from university and college, he would, like, we'd usually go out on a Friday or Saturday night, and he would often just, like, kind of work and, like, figure out his work schedule to work till, like, 9 or 10 p.m. at night, because, like, that's really just when we're all goofing around, like, hanging out. Like, we're not really getting into the pre-drinking yet, we've not gone out to the club yet, and then he would just show up at, like, 10 or 11 p.m., and he'd still essentially get the same value from what we were, like, trying to do by going out to the club and pre-drinking stuff, but he was hustling right up until that moment, rather than the rest of us that were just drinking extra calories and goofing off for 3 or 4 hours. So that's what, to me, financial independence, retirement early about. It's about really figuring out, or that to me is really what conscious consumption is about, is figuring out what's adding value to your life and focusing on it. And particularly when you're young, when you're just starting out, putting in that extra effort really starts to pay dividends. It's one of those things that it exponentially starts growing or starts compounding at a minimum. So Lee LaFan was enjoying some of our marketing materials for Vegas, so that's great.
I told Peter to use that picture, so I was like, use it.
Gotta go for the clickbait.
And I do appreciate some of the guys here being like, oh, I like to relax on Fridays because like work can be draining, and like even in my line of work, Monday morning till about Friday afternoon is insane. They leave you alone for some reason. And when you're an investor type realtor,
Yeah.
you guys all leave me alone on the weekends for the most part.
It's because they're all coming around to their day job.
Oh yeah, I know. Like half you guys are sitting there not doing your day job. You're on the realtor or whatever, and then just sending me messages. And then it's in the middle of my day as I'm turning around the door, and I'm like one that I want to get you guys the data quickly. So like it's draining. And then then you guys are probably like, oh, that's my weekend now. So then I got to switch over to residential and put on the open house hat.
Which actually though, that's probably a good tip for a lot of realtors, that you can kind of do a bit of both, right? Like you can be the investor weekdays and the residential.
Monday to Friday investor, do your open house on weekends. So many like agents I see, like they're like off to the office, because like if you're just dealing with normal clients, they have jobs just like you guys, and they have nothing to do all day. Versus like with your investors, usually you don't have a job. Sean Allen doesn't have a job.
Yeah.
Like I'm like. And it's so easy to get around town.
There's no traffic, or like at least less.
Right? Like even like in LA, like Graham would book the appointments on traffic. And we were always told how bad LA traffic is. Graham got caught in it once.
Oh yeah.
But for the most part, we drove everywhere.
Because it was during the day, yeah.
During the day. And like I just kind of hate it when people are like, oh, the 5:30 showings on the Monday. It's like, this is going to take forever. But we used to go look at 10 properties like we started at 10 a.m. and we'd be done at like 11:30.
Yeah.
You're like, okay, that was quick.
Right? Because like you can just get there. And also what's kind of nice, if you're looking at income properties and stuff, a lot of solid tenants won't be home because they're out at their job, and that's maybe an indicator of the profile of tenant. Plus, you can then really like go through the house and like it's a lot weirder, like really looking under cupboards to see if there's water leaks, or like poking your head in attics when the tenant's at home, where it's just like much easier to really get a full picture of what's going on in the property when you have kind of unfettered access to it. So that's another bonus of being able to go look at properties during the day, for sure. I saw the ginger bread man. Oh, I thought that was maybe a joke in my beard. Good, that wasn't. Awesome. Vlad's been DMing Jeff on the Instagrams.
Well, I think Vlad, I just dropped over to my Instagram here, and he's interested in Vegas.
That's awesome, man. Hey, Ray, are you coming down to Vegas yet? I haven't heard. Now that you're going to be making all that Windsor cash flow, that's like, what, less than 1 month's cash flow in Windsor? Just saying. Ray, think about all the value you got from over at 2018. What if you could exponentially grow a property plus John as a mentor?
John, so you're going to get
10
properties.
Elon Musk will adopt you as his child or something. I don't know how he gets 10xing John as a mentor, but yeah. So Chan was asking, can you talk about the limo ride and the other stuff going on in Vegas other than the mastermind? So yeah, so for the limo ride, that's essentially just us. We're going to be leaving from London, Ontario. So if you're, say, from anywhere that's not, south of London towards Windsor, you come meet us in London. Essentially what we do, Jeff rents out a limo bus. We can get about 20 to 30 investors on the limo bus comfortably. And what's great about like the limo bus versus say like a school bus or all driving separately, because sometimes people are like, why don't I just drive separately because that way I don't have to pay for the limo. And it's like, no, it's the networking, it's the fact that you get to hang out with investors for 3 to 4 or 5 hours. And with the Windsor one, like we're also hanging out on the bus ride to and from it. So it just gives you a great opportunity to meet more people and get deeper connections and relationships with them. And that's where a lot of the value is, because even when you go to some of these like nighttime meetups or seminars and stuff, you maybe meet like 5-10 people, but it's like a 2-hour event. At max, you maybe got like 5 or 10 minutes of that person's attention and time. It was maybe splintered because there's other people, so you're in a semicircle. We're on the limo bus, like you can literally just start chatting to the person next to you, and it's a great kind of a great icebreaker because you're all in the same limo bus. You clearly care about real estate investing, and that's what you're focused on.
And the last time we went from London to Windsor, I was like, okay, you stand up, or is this your girlfriend? Yep. Can't sit beside it.
Yeah.
Because like sometimes
that's one of the rules we have for
Yeah.
networking. Is me and Jeff, like we still hang out a bunch when we're networking, but we try not to sit beside each other. We try not to spend all day.
See this guy all the time.
Right? Yeah.
If you come with your wife or your partner, your business partner, don't talk to them till the end, and then come back like, oh my god, I tell them about your 6 hours. Don't be around them for it.
Yeah.
And even at Rain, we did that as well. We
We divided
and
conquer.
and we do that now even for meetups. You'll go to Windsor,
Yeah.
I'll go to Niagara Falls, and
Actually,
you'll
yeah,
go to
that's a good
Toronto,
point.
and I'll be hooking up meetings in London, and
Yeah.
because it's like, well, and then you just did cash flow to go to Toronto this week.
Yeah. So yeah, we had
This is
an
cash
awesome
flow,
meetup in Toronto on Jesus. Yeah, this has been a long week, guys. So Wednesday night I was in downtown Toronto. Lee from the comment section was there. Got to hang out with him more. Same with my buddy Mitt, CPA, and actually a great selection of individuals. There's a bunch of super fans of Jeff. It was actually pretty funny. People were saying like,
I didn't go.
hey, people were like, hey, I know you from Jeff's YouTube channel. I was like, what? But yeah.
And then you were like, I'm on Jeff's channel. Like, it doesn't ring a bell. Matt McKeever.
Right? Yeah. But that was awesome. And then yeah, Thursday we went down and met up with John, shot a bunch more footage. So honestly, I think there'll be a video or two a week coming out with John, just kind of documenting what he's doing in Windsor. So you guys definitely should be checking it out. We're really excited by what's going on there. And that's what the limo tour is about. We're going to be looking at, in Windsor on September 23rd, we're going to be looking at a bunch of student rentals and just kind of focusing on John's model and getting him to share with us what he's up to and him showing us example projects. And in a perfect world, by then, Ray's property is going to be done, so that might be the finished product that we get to walk through. And so far, I've been watching the evolution of it, and it's been tons of fun to see. So, and it's the ones, like, you guys will get to see the houses that I've been videotaping on my channel. We'll hopefully go and at least see 1 or 2 of them, and again, it's just going to be really grounded in reality, in my opinion. So that's what the limo tour is about. But in case you're new to our channel or you just don't know what the limo tour is in general, once a month essentially, at least once a month this year, we rent out the limo bus and we go check out a real estate market. Often it's London, Ontario, but we've done one in Windsor before. We've done one in Kitchener. Yeah. And we're looking to expand it potentially too. So we may in the future be handing out places like Brantford or Hamilton or the St. Catharines region. There's a lot of opportunities. Chatham's high on the list, same with Sarnia. So we really just want to, with the limo tour, it's about showcasing a bunch of opportunities, but then getting a bunch of real estate investors or aspiring real estate investors all together in the same bus. Again, it's essentially a really tiny mini Vegas would be the best way to describe it. So yeah, that's what it's about. Saw tons of comments going on. Appreciate it, guys. How do you calculate how much risk you're taking? How much of a risk is there that you won't be able to make all your mortgage payments? So that's a great question, Sergeant Snake Eyes. So it really comes down to the property, your investment strategy, and there's a lot of details. But to give you a high level example, or at least kind of describe how I approach it, I really focus on what's called the 1% rule. And so that means if I buy a house for $200,000, I need to rent it out for $2,000 a month for it to be a good investment, in my personal opinion. That's just how my model works. But I'm investing primarily for cash flow, and any appreciation, any increase in the price, that's just gravy. That's just the icing on top of the cake. The real meat, the real focus of it, I'm using a lot of analogies that aren't vegan. The real focus of it is that consistent cash flow that you're getting every single month. And that's how for myself, that's how I replaced my day job, was by having that consistent cash flow. And that's why we're so excited by the Windsor stuff, is because it's a really strong cash flowing opportunity, like anything else I've ever seen. And yeah, that's kind of how you focus it. Now, as far as the risk you're taking, that's a great question as well. And again, the way I approach it is, when the risk I think, or at least I'm assuming you're referring to, is one of two things. Either that you can't get renters, or two, that the value of the property drops. I'll address the second one first. And so if the value of the property drops, if you have a strong cash flowing property, it actually doesn't really matter to you. Simply because your rents don't drop the same way that house prices potentially can during a market correction. In fact, during a market correction, a lot of homeowners, if it's a serious correction or a crash, will lose their property and end up becoming renters. And so the renter pool often grows during a contraction or a crash, which again creates opportunities as a landlord. So essentially the way I look at it, based on my market and kind of the cost and overhead we have here in London, Ontario, I could afford like a 20 to 30% easily reduction in my gross rents before all of a sudden I'd be negative cash flow, before I wouldn't be able to make that mortgage payment. And while that's not ideal, that's not the reason I bought the property, it still means that I could survive a pretty turbulent time because rents just don't drop 20 or 30% overnight traditionally. You know, maybe in really small markets where you have a single employer and that employer moves, that's possible. But in general, if you know your market, if you understand it, you should be able to trust that the rents you're getting are fair market. And so at the same time, on the flip side, for a first-time investor, we've seen it before where like clearly someone was juicing their rents and got like a buddy to sign it, or it's like a fake lease, or the rents are inflated in order to try and sell the property for more
I've
money.
seen it when it's owner occupied. I remember one down by downtown, and I don't know if you were there, but yeah, something was up, and I was like, this doesn't seem right. His aunt lives in this. You know,
and so like if you're suspicious about the rents, there's lots of great ways to learn more. So like go check out like Kijiji or Craigslist, depending on what market you use. Usually in the US, Craigslist is more popular. In Canada, it's often Kijiji. But as well, we have like websites like PadMapper, which will pull from a bunch of different sources, create a map that you can actually look at and see what the average rents are going on in the area. Again, it's not a perfect solution, but it'll definitely help give you some comfort. Same with like most municipalities and stuff post some stats on like cost of living and things like that, so that can be a good indicator as well.
I had a realtor in Tampa ask me like, how do you know like the rents? Well, it's one of the things we do every time we meet a tenant. Would you mind telling me what you pay? And then they always 90% of the time tell us, right? Sometimes they think it's top secret.
Yeah,
but
it's strange how that sometimes happens.
You always ask them. And then you can meet another landlord and they say, oh, I have a property in the East End. Whatever city you're in, doesn't matter. I always say, what kind of rents are you getting? And then I start building this like mental picture of like what the rent is around the city. And then when I have clients reach out to me being like, what kind of rent can I get for that house? I already know it's like, okay, between 1,200 and 1,500, depending on your strategies, families versus students. It's like, you guys want to always be asking those questions. So if you hear about anybody with a rental property, just ask them like, what kind of rents are you getting? And I'll start building the picture for you.
Absolutely. And so I see the financial investor just asked, what steps do you take after closing and getting keys on investment property? So first of all,
Instagram.
You gotta do it for the gram first of all. So you can take that selfie right in front of the property. If you're me, it's a thumbnail where you're like, people used to live here. Holy shit! Because I'm usually buying properties that are very distressed. But in all seriousness, usually right before you close on the property, you're going to want to set up the utilities and stuff, set up your payments if you want to do auto payments, things like that. When you actually get the property, when you get the keys to it, again, you're going to want to get insurance before that and stuff. The nice thing is, when you're buying a property for the first time, your lawyer will likely have a checklist they'll provide you. They'll really walk you through the steps, so it'll be a less intimidating experience than you're probably thinking it is off the bat. Then when you actually close, you know, you or your property manager, you're going to want someone to go introduce yourself to the tenants if you haven't already done so. Often you're going to write them a letter just kind of explaining what's going on, explaining to them who to make payments to and how that process should work, as well as just kind of confirming everything. Getting off on the right foot is a huge deal if it's currently occupied with tenants, as well as like give them emergency contact information, all that stuff, so that if all of a sudden there's a flood or a fire or something crazy going on with your property, they can get a hold of you right away so that you can try and mitigate the damage, or at least that you're aware of it. Beyond that, you're probably going to want to tour the property. Usually right before you close, you get like one last inspection of the property so you can check it out, make sure that nothing drastically has changed. Otherwise, after the close, you kind of do that, just make sure, say if you wrote in that you're going to get the 3 fridges in the property, you check, make sure you got the 3 fridges, all that good stuff, you know, kind of walk the property, and then I really start figuring out what my game plan is, because sometimes when we're buying properties, it's from hoarders, and it's really difficult to get a full picture of the property. I know there's an opportunity there. I'm just not sure exactly how to execute on it. So the first thing often for me is getting a dumpster on the property, getting a couple guys there so we can get all the crap out, so we can see what we're working with and really see the true condition of the property. So usually it involves like 2 or 3 dumpsters and a crew of guys emptying it out for me, and then kind of making at least a basic floor plan and figuring out how I'm going to execute on that. Hopefully that helped. Any questions you want to answer, Jeff, or what's?
Well, if you're gonna keep those tenants and you're not gonna do what Matt does, maybe get them out of there because you're buying turnkey and you want to set up on the right foot. I'd suggest like dropping off anything, a gift card. Just go like 10% above their current landlord right now, because you're a new landlord. They're probably scared like what's gonna happen. And if you want to keep these people, yeah, drop off gift card, gift basket. Whatever.
Oh yeah, great tips.
Beyond just the phone numbers.
Yeah, no, that's actually.
Now they're gonna be like, man, this guy's amazing. I'm gonna hopefully pay the rent, and if not, well, then you're good about later. But
yeah, I'm just grabbing water.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's actually a great tip too. So yeah, often I'm just used to where we're often evicting people on payments.
Are you thinking of? I'm thinking just the way you're describing it. I'm thinking of the one down there. The one, is that the one in your head right now?
Which one?
Adams.
Oh no, actually, I was thinking
all of them.
Actually, I literally was just thinking of the one I most recently closed on. Well, the second most recent close, which was like the King Street one.
Oh yeah.
That we've been documenting. That I'm going to turn into an Airbnb. If you guys just jumped on the stream, or yeah, I got a bit by please. Stop wearing sandals. Stop. One thing to do when you're viewing properties, particularly if they're lower income properties or properties that are distressed, wear socks, wear shoes, wear pants. Because if you're attracted to pests like I am, you're going to get torn up by the fleas. Thankfully, I've never got bed bugs, so at least that's a W. I'll count that as a win. Addison asked, Matt, you guys ever had post-secondary students interested in real estate investing contact you about doing a work placement? I want to get some practical use out of my education. Great question. Answer is no. I've never had anyone do that. I'm not sure exactly how work placement works, but yeah, it would be something we would consider. Yeah, slide into our DMs on Instagram, either at mattmckeever85, it's in the video description down below, or at Jeff Wybo. Let us know both, like, maybe link us to exactly what the work, like, and just so I'm sure, like, so I completely understand what you mean by work placement. Like, I'm assuming that's some sort of partnership through your post-secondary institution. But yeah, let us know what you're thinking, and we'll see if there's an opportunity there. We're always.
Or is it like just shadowing?
Yeah. Like if you just want to follow us around for a day, we can definitely make that work under the right circumstances.
Yeah.
Like I can't just make a blanket promise that works for everyone, because there's a lot of everyone. But for the right circumstances, we're absolutely trying to help pay it forward whenever we can. So.
And one of like the best ways to meet us at first. Everybody wants to go for coffee and this and that. We don't really have time for that.
It's just like I used to. Like the first 6 months or a year, essentially before Graham Stephan got famous. I met every single person on my YouTube channel. Then Graham Stephan got famous, and I kind of got like a little spike because of Graham being a friend of mine. And since then, it's been very difficult to meet up with everyone for a one-on-one.
But now we tell them, come to our meetups.
Come to our networks.
Come to the limo. If you want to look the workshop or the following, come in the field. That's the limo tour. Right?
Actually, yeah, the limo tour literally is in the field training.
So
there is a small financial cost to it, but I truly do believe it's worth it. But beyond that, like, let's say you're like, oh man, like Matt didn't respond to my DM, and I really wanted to job shadow him, whatever. There's a lot of other really cool, smart people on my channel. So maybe you reach out to John Kepler, Known Sound, or Kellen, or Dylan McLaughlin, or Mike Rosehard, or Phil Wybo, or Matt Pichet, and try and get their attention. And everyone I just named, amazing people. Matthew Cassidy in Windsor, amazing, fantastic people. Corey McKinnon in Sarnia, or Dan DeVoe in Sarnia, or Sean Allen out of Woodstock flipping. All these people, amazing, absolutely crushing it, extremely nice, intelligent. And if you reach out to them on the right terms, there's a great potential that one of those opportunities is going to work out for you. So I think being persistent, but also being aware of it, and perfect world, if you can make some sort of proposition to the individual to try and get their attention or stand out, I think that's the best thing. So for example, like I mentioned way earlier in the stream, when Stephan Arnio came and gave a talk here, I tried to add value or give value to him first by being like, hey man, I'll make your YouTube videos and stuff because I know you've been kind of lacking on that front. I got this YouTube channel, you can check it out, see that I'm serious about it. And if you're down, like, I'll move to Winnipeg and live with you for a month. And that's what I did for 3 months, or 3 weeks. I slept on his couch in his living room. Like, so if anyone was going to his kitchen or leaving the house, turn the lights on, like, boom, lights are on where I'm sleeping. But it was worth it because it just showed me a whole new perspective and experience that I know that otherwise would have never got. Same with the best real estate deal I ever purchased came from the fact that I read, it was right after I quit my day job, and I was just skimming Kijiji looking for real estate opportunities, and someone had posted looking for a bookkeeper to help them with their real estate investments. And I'm a CPA by trade, so accounting, bookkeeping is a strong suit of mine. So I reached out and was like, hey man, I saw the ad for the bookkeeper. I know that I'm way overqualified, but I would love to do it for you. I'd love to help you. And I don't care what you pay. I'll work for free. Ended up, because of that message, I got to sit down with him, chatted with him. He's like, well, I got to pay you something. I was like, okay, cool. And he's like, well, what do you want to get paid? And I was like, it doesn't matter to me. Like, it literally doesn't matter. He's like, $20 an hour? I'm like, sure, awesome. As long as you're going to teach me, as long as I get to learn from you, I'm more than happy with that. And from that, he ended up deciding to sell a 20-unit parcel of real estate and asked me if I would sell it for him privately. And I said, no, I can't. Conflict of interest because I want to buy it. And we ended up being able to negotiate out a deal. But that was after me working for him for 6 months for, like, $20 an hour is still decent for a lot of people, I understand, but from the professional world I left, that was a substantial pay cut, and I wouldn't have been doing it for the $20 an hour. I was doing it for the experience and for the relationship I was creating. So for literally 6 months, I worked about 20 hours a week for him, and it was while I was trying to grow up my real estate and start my YouTube, so it definitely was a drain on my time, but I understood that something was going to come from it. I didn't know exactly. I didn't know that I was going to buy 20 units until he told me he was going to sell it. But I just knew by being surrounded by this guy that was a developer here in London, Ontario, someone that was making shit happen and on a different level of wealth than I was at, that something cool would come from it. So hopefully that helped you with the idea of job placements and stuff. Yeah. So what else do we got going on here? Do you know of anybody like you you're mentoring in the Midwest USA? Good question. Who? So there's one guy.
Midwest.
Yeah, so like I don't know exactly what we mean by Midwest. This probably doesn't count, but like Midwest is like some people consider that a big region. So like, is that? I'm gonna embarrass myself.
Well, it's like
because like don't people like? Well, at least I'm basing this off of like rappers like Eminem and MGK say they're from the Midwest, and that's like Detroit, like that's Michigan and Ohio and stuff. So
if going more Idaho and
is it okay? Let's know exactly where you mean by Midwest, so I don't. Okay, Iowa, South Dakota, Minnesota, and Nebraska. I don't off the top of my head, Brett.
It's been quiet from those areas.
Yeah, I would think that there'd be some great opportunities.
Well, you know what you do? You search Idaho real estate hashtag or whatever.
Yeah. Start that probably the best.
Real estate agent, real estate investor, flipper, whatever, and then work backwards and find out who they are and send them a DM. And then, yeah, we're not vetting them, but it's a good way. Is there more YouTubers that are?
There has to be. I'm just trying to think of because I know there's a guy called the Real Estate Dingo, Angelo, who's out of Ohio, I think Toledo. He's doing fantastic. I just don't know of anyone in that exact area. But yeah, someone mentioned Bigger Pockets. I would strongly recommend Bigger Pockets. Honestly, also, if you're new to real estate investing, the best podcast for real estate investors is Bigger Pockets, hands down. Anyone that says differently, come at me, bro, and tell me which podcast, because I need to listen to that podcast. Bigger Pockets, expand my horizons and knowledge base so much.
We have a Bigger Pockets meetup group here, right? So in your cities,
I bet there's probably a meetup.
There probably is one, if not,
so yeah,
do it.
Start going to, actually that's a huge suggestion, but start going out to all the networking events in the Midwest, and hopefully you'll stumble into someone. Honestly, just listen, give everyone a chance, don't jump to conclusions, and hopefully it works out for you. If anyone's watching this right now from the Midwest, jump in the comment section and let Brett know.
Hashtags.
Appreciate the $2, Aiden, for the super chat. Glad to hear that you're getting value from this video.
Another $2?
Yeah. And so I see a financial advisor said you can check out the Bigger Pockets, 100% agree, and see if anyone there. Honestly, Bigger Pockets is an amazing resource. And in fact, they have it broken down by states, so you can probably figure out exactly, well, you know what state you're in, and check out that state's sub-forum on the Bigger Pockets forums, and I guarantee there's going to be someone amazing there. Because, like, there's just so many amazing people on Bigger Pockets. There's a handful of scam artists, like, everywhere, but, like, just sift through it. I guarantee you'll find someone pretty cool. And if not, check out all their, like, search their podcast episodes and see if maybe you can find someone that spoke from there. Because I'd be shocked if they haven't probably had someone from every state at this point on the Bigger Pockets podcast. Excuse me. So hopefully that helps as well. Yeah, so also Ray was saying go to your local real estate investor group. 100% agree. Yeah, definitely, Addison, come out to one of our meetups if you're in the area. There's so much value. You can find a link on my link tree on Instagram as well. You know, just search London, Ontario Real Estate Meetup and like on Facebook or something, and you'll find we literally do like essentially 4 meetups a month, pretty much once a week. Oh, and we didn't count Lyric. So literally 5.
It's just coming back.
Yeah, so like there's like 5 meetup groups here, and each one's got its own slight unique flavor and stuff, but each one's got a ton of value and a ton of just like real genuine people. They're like tiny mini OREX, right?
To the point where my wife will be like, are you in or out tonight? You know,
Yeah.
Just like every single day.
But we do get tons of value
Yeah.
from doing all this real estate value.
Well, I
Or
see
real
people that
estate
don't
investment.
go and then they cry about they don't have any business or something. Or
Yeah,
they
right.
don't know any deals. Or,
And like every now and then I'll get someone that like, you know, thinks that they're really clever and they're like, I do all my networking online, bro. You're being so inefficient. You can't scale those actions. And it's like, no, you can scale a handshake, but you don't need to scale a handshake. Just like
but
put in the work. Because you can't build a deep, like, I just don't think you can build as deep of a relationship only through DMs as you can through.
well,
like,
and at the
real
event,
life.
they're not randoms. Like it's not like
Yeah.
you just met somebody.
And
at
there
the
has to be
coffee
some
shop.
social proof too, because
Right.
like, oh, like you meet Dylan McLaughlin and he introduces you to Kellen or Jeff or
Oh,
Phil or me.
I can't walk through those things without
Right.
everybody pitching my name, which is pretty. Thank you to everybody, but yeah, it's pretty cool. So I just get hi. Everybody's been talking about me at London on Fire or something like that, and I get a lot of emails about that.
Yeah, yeah. And Lee was just saying, great chat tonight. It really has been a great chat. Thank you guys so much. I really do appreciate when you engage with each other and help each other out. 'Cause that is the community I'm trying to foster.
We're not going off till we get one more limo tour sale tonight.
Okay, so Jeff set the bar pretty high.
I thought high Vegas would be a higher one.
Yeah, but, like if we don't get it, like
Oh,
how long are we going to do this? I'm already having to start drink water because I'm going hoarse. Just wondering, how was
Well,
the
we gotta
Grand
play
Cardone
this
event?
one,
I believe you guys went. Yeah, so myself, Adam Martin, and Dylan McLaughlin went to Grant Cardone's 1-day 10X event in Miami. So, honestly, I kind of want to paint a picture for you. There's a bunch of videos on my channel you should check out to get a better, fuller understanding, but essentially, I was mildly skeptical when I showed up to the event. I thought it was going to be a non-stop pitch fest, and don't get me wrong, Grant Cardone is great at pitching his shit, but he's pretty point blank about when he's pitching and when he's not. So, you know, it was obvious, I guess, when it was happening, so it came through as more authentic than I expected, and he provided tons of value. We literally paid, I think it was like under $200 American each for our ticket for the 1-day event. It was like an 8-hour event. It had I think Damon John from Shark Tank. There was a lady from Spanx there. Her husband Jesse something, who did wrote the book Living with a. Anyways, yeah, it was a fantastic event. I got a ton of value from it. It was also a fantastic networking opportunity. In particular, what we did to really stand out was me and the 2 other guys. We wore these like red tuxedo jackets, and we just networked insanely. And because like we wore these jackets and just stood up, made eye contact with everyone just assumed that we were somehow tied in with Grant. So we got way more respect. We kind of go into like VIP sections that we weren't supposed to, and it was just a ton of fun. Now, don't get me wrong. He's definitely trying to sell you stuff. And I'm not saying there's anything wrong with him trying to sell you stuff either. I think that there's a balance there. I haven't done a lot of his, I haven't had him as a coach or guru. I've listened to his audiobooks and read some of his books, and I've only got value from them, so I definitely recommend you check them out. He's got a podcast as well, which can be great to sample. But yeah, it was a ton of fun at the Grant Cardone event. We met some great people in Miami, and now I have like an actual network in Miami, which is pretty cool. The next time we go to Miami, you guys gotta come back, and like they remember us as the crazy Canadians in red, right? Which is pretty cool. So Uncle G literally gave us a shout out from stage. He's like, I gotta know, guys in red jackets, where are you from?
That's awesome.
Right? Like, it's just one of those things. I gotta take a selfie with like almost everyone on the staff. So like, got one with Jared, with Ryan, with Elena. Got to talk to his cameraman. Everyone was way more accessible than I expected. As well, his employees have drank all the Kool-Aid. They're 100% in on being Grant Cardone, which was actually really revitalizing for me because it kind of made me realize that like anyone we bring into our ecosystem, I want them to be 100% committed to what we're about, what we're envisioning, and what we're focusing on, because like that, there's just something about the energy level at his event, because every one of his employees is like sell or be sold, they're hardcore. Don't get me wrong, they can probably also get your credit card number out of you a lot easier than a lot of other people, but you know, Uncle G's provided a lot of free content too, so there's a balance there. So hopefully that helps. I would highly recommend it if you're considering going to his event. Compared to some of the Rich Dad, Poor Dad events I've been to in the past, I would say I got way more, and don't get me wrong, those were free events, but I got way more value from Grant Cardone's event than I've got from the free like Rich Dad, Poor Dad seminars or from the Canadian Wealth Expo. Now, Canadian Wealth Expo, I got a lot of value just because we networked hard, but had I not been networking, just from a pure talk standpoint, I felt Grant Cardone gave a lot of value for what we paid. So shout out to Uncle G.
And are we going to the next Growth X?
Yes, we've already bought our tickets to GrowthCon.
February?
So
or January?
It's sometime next year. It's going to be in Miami. I think it's at like the Marlins. That's the team, right? At their stadium or
the local
at their rink, whatever it is. Yeah.
Event.
The local sports
Florida
franchise.
Marlins?
Yeah, I believe that's one of them, right?
It's basketball, I think.
Yeah.
Just a troll when it comes to sports. Because he doesn't know.
Yeah, other than fancy football.
Right? He kills it. He's got a trophy up there.
Dude, I won last year. This is the trophy I won because of fantasy football. It only took me 6 years to win that championship title, but worth it. Sally Aiden gave another donation. Really appreciate it, man. Thank you very much. I'm glad that you're getting value from this. At the same time, please don't feel obligated to do it, but it's as much just the fact that you're willing to do it.
Are these Australian dollars?
Oh yeah, they are. Because that's why it says A in front of it. That's cool.
It's
It's probably worth more than ours.
Probably.
That is funny though.
Aiden just bought a Vegas ticket with 3 Australian dollars.
Damn, we need to go to Australia. Yeah, so Rainer's also asking if you were an experienced investor. So, yes, I think it was overall, because the biggest thing I took away from Uncle G's event was he talked about once people get to a certain point, they start playing defense. So what got me to be successful was playing offense. But, and it rang so true for me, and it's part of the reason that I committed to doing Vegas and a bunch of other things, is it can be really easy once you've had some success to start playing defense, because you get protective and you're like, oh my god, you know, I got my first property, I got my first 5 properties, or I was finally able to quit my job. And then you start to get back into a scarcity mindset, and it just really blew my mind open when he kind of, and I'm maybe not describing it as well as he did, but he just really laid it out well that like, you know, you need to, like, what you did to get here got you there, but like, you need, like, doing the exact same thing won't get you further, but like, you need to have that same mindset of like growth, of challenging yourself, of trying new things, of experimenting. And a lot of people, once they find a formula that works, they can get like almost too tunnel visioned on it, and they're not open to any new experiences, and they start to think that they're an expert in everything, or at least in their niche, and they don't even want to listen to anyone else. So it was just, I got literally, that was worth the price of admission alone, had I got no other value from it, just like and that might have just been me personally, but like a flip was switched. Now, if you're looking for like really in-depth, specific real estate investing advice, I don't know if we were overrun with that. A lot of it was motivational, but like it was the really good motivational stuff where like I know the three of us that came back from Grant Cardone's event, like we were amped up. We were so pumped. We were so excited and focused on taking our shit to the next level. And it definitely got some results for myself. So again, shout out to Uncle G.
Mitt just texted me. He said, "Good sir, I'm gonna get another ticket. Oh, for the limo tour." So
Nice. Awesome.
I thought it was gonna be Vegas.
Does that count as our limo tour ticket?
Yeah, there you go. I don't think he was even paying attention.
Sweet. Thankfully, we can go
I
to
thought he was
bed
gonna
at
say
some
Vegas.
point.
We'll take a limo tour.
Yeah. So what else is going on? So,
So how long is the chat? How long are we at right now?
I have no idea. It's not showing me how long we've been going either. I assume it's been a long time. It's well, like we started way before 8 p.m. So
I just told my wife, "Oh, I'm just gonna come up for a live chat." I haven't gone back.
just a quick little live chat. Just gotta pop in and say hi to the crew. But really do appreciate the 21 of you that smashed the like button. The fact that 2 of you hit the dislike button, I'd be lying if I didn't say that cut a little deep. But
I probably just missed the like by a little bit.
hopefully, hey, if you did accidentally hit the dislike button, you can undislike it and instead like it. So just spoiler alerts. Sergeant Snake Eyes asked, have you ever calculated the annualized return after all expenses, including your time? How much of a better return do you think you're getting over the stock market? Thank you very much for the answer. Yeah, that's a great question. So the answer is like, I'm going to just straight up say no, because part of me isn't even sure how do you quantify the time. But at the same time, like I think a lot of people invest in the stock market, in my opinion, wrong. Now, if you're in a broadly placed like ETF, okay, you can kind of buy it, set it, and forget it. But if you're investing in direct equities, you need to be doing your homework as well. You need to be reading the MD&A. You need to read the financial statements. You need to stay on top of both the macro and micro economics surrounding that business, that industry, and even the nation and the worldwide economy. So I think both real estate and directly investing in equities take more work than almost anyone properly estimates. However, you know, certain things like, does it count as, like when I'm networking, does that count as work for real estate investing? Like I'm usually having fun, but I am learning, I'm making connections, I'm maybe finding that contractor. So the short answer is no, I haven't. And I can give a great comparison between the two. If anyone watching this video has tried to take the time to do that, jump in and let us know. But also, you know, the fact that I'm getting consistent returning cash flow, like, you know, maybe, yeah, it's tough to say, to be honest. For perspective's sake, I used to do all my own renovations. Now I don't really lift a finger on my properties. So again, that drastically changes the time investment I have. But like, does this YouTube stuff count as like me working on real estate? And like, I'm not trying to just like come up with a bunch of like questions so that there's no way I can answer your question, but I truly don't know. It's an interesting question. Maybe it's something I should consider trying to tackle. But same with like when a lot of the deals I buy these days, and same with John, are private deals. And so that takes a lot of like private networking or knocking on doors, introducing yourself to neighbors, and trying to find sellers with unique circumstances where you can buy the property. You could knock on a door, find the first property, buy it, and have a fantastic deal. Or you might have to knock on 100 doors. So like, it's hard. I think if you're really short on time, or if your time's extremely valuable to you, real estate investing may not be the right solution for you, or at least active real estate investing may not be the right solution for you. However, there are like some passive alternatives that you get the right joint venture partner. You're obviously going to have to really do your due diligence on that individual and build up a level of trust. But yeah. But to me, it's kind of the same as if you're using an investment advisor to buy into investments. Like, you need to really trust that person. And don't just trust them because they're a friend, whether it's a joint venture partner or a financial advisor, but trust them because they're good at their job, because they've proven their worth to you, because they've like proven their selves.
Speaking of proving my worth to me, who's your favorite accountant? There's a little bit of a pre-question here. No, it's not you. It's Mitt.
Oh, yeah, no, I'm just saying that CPA is my favorite.
Yeah, okay. He was giving me a question to answer.
Oh, okay, yeah.
So yeah, you guys contact Mitt CPA on Instagram for any of your accounting needs.
Yeah, definitely. He's fantastic. And the great thing about Mitt is he's a real estate investor himself. We're actually joint ventured on a couple opportunities. So not only does he know about real estate investing, but like since he's an active real estate investor, he pays a lot of attention to this stuff so that he knows the ins and outs of it. And whether you end up deciding to use Mitt or another CPA, I would really try and find one that is actively investing in real estate, someone that understands what you're up to. Same with if you're looking for a realtor and you want to be an investor. Ideally, your realtor is going to be an investor themselves. And same with like essentially anyone on your team, ideally. If they don't invest in real estate themselves, they actively, constantly are engaging and working with and networking with other investors. Because one of the added bonuses is, say like Mitt or another accountant that knows real estate is doing your taxes and sees like that your property is not performing, they might be like, hey man, like this, like just to let you know, I think some investors are getting better opportunities in other areas, or like, hey, I have some other clients with similar type properties and they're able to get a lot more rents. I'm just wondering if you're under renting your property. So there's a lot of those little residual benefits, or they maybe know a great insurance person or a great lawyer or whatever the case is. And same with lawyers. Having a lawyer that deals with a lot of real estate investors is valuable because, in my opinion, bad or lazy lawyers often will just tell you something can't be done if they've never seen it before or if it's complicated, because a lot of real estate transactions, well, most real estate transactions for small investors, it's a transactional relationship with your lawyer. They essentially charge a flat fee. So the more questions you ask, the more complicated your deal is, the more work they end up doing, and the less they make per hour. So that's also something to be aware of. So what else are we saying? Lee said I think we've been going for an hour and 40 minutes plus. So hopefully you guys are enjoying this. Are we going to Graham's and Jeremy's event, Financial Ed channel? Great question. I think we're undecided currently, but definitely if you're considering it, Graham's an awesome guy. Obviously we're big fans of his. He's a buddy of ours, so we definitely recommend you consider supporting him if you're thinking about doing that. At the same time, I guess actually I know how hard it is to get my DMs. You're probably not going to be able to get his attention.
DM.
Yeah, DM Jeff and ask him, and he'll give you some more perspective on it. So business trips related to the business are write-offs anyway, so they can probably write off the cost. Yes, so that's a great point too that I didn't really bring up about the Vegas event, is like you can, there's definitely at least a large proponent of it that you'll be able to write it off. Now you may not be able to write off 100% of it because it does include your meals and drinks. However, I would argue those are incidental to really what it's about. So again, speak to your exact CPA or your bookkeeper, your accountant, get their perspective, but there's definitely an opportunity where at least a portion of this can be a tax write-off. Same with your flight. So yeah, definitely if that's a little bonus, there's a little bonus.
Yeah. I was thinking something, but I'm not tax advice, so.
Yeah. Do I need earmuffs?
Yes. I was like, I write the invoices, so.
Yeah, true. 100% consulting related to real estate investing.
What do you want to hear, CRA?
Yeah. So Lee was just saying, well, going on the limo tours have been great at the price. This is going to be even better. Yeah, I'm not even sure whether he's talking about Vegas or the upcoming limo tour, but I agree that both are even going to be better than things we've done in the past. I saw way back when Wiz jumped back into the section. We'd love to hear, Wiz, if you're still watching, and if we've changed your mind, or if your BS detector's still going off the radar. And I'm just kind of poking fun, because you left on a good note, and we did appreciate it, so maybe you didn't watch that part, but I do want to give you props for leaving on a good note. Yeah, I love the conversation that's going on, guys. I just want to say, like, this is unlike any other live stream we've ever done. So really appreciate it, particularly like Lee. I can see that you're really helping engage, and that does mean a lot to me. Thank you, Lee.
This show is longer than the Avengers movie.
Yeah. Oh man, it's so funny when people start giving you weird context like that, right?
We covered it earlier in the live, but if you were going to come on the limo tour, all you gotta do is come down to London and hop on, and then go to Windsor, and then we're gonna get you back to London. Then you go to Toronto or wherever you're coming from. So you don't have to drive all the way down to Windsor. You come hang out with us for the car ride down, the limo ride down.
Yeah.
So get some vegan cupcakes or something for everybody.
Yeah.
Vegan morning donuts and coffee.
I mean, who eats?
Right,
I'm fasting until I buy a deal.
Exactly. Actually, every limo tour I fasted on for sure.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely.
There's no time to eat in the morning.
So I saw Rainer was just saying, so I'm actually currently considering this property in Montreal, but the market here is drastically escalated. My question is, are you currently looking to expand, considering that you tend to buy hold? I'm not sure if this is directed to me or if John's still in the comment section, but John was originally from Quebec, I think the Montreal area. So if he is, maybe he can help you out a little bit about what's going on in Montreal. I've heard some cool things. I know that John's been building condos there. It sounds pretty cool what he's up to there too. So yeah. So Sergeant Snake Eyes, just saying he's surprised I haven't calculated my annual return. Well, just for context, you asked my annual return including like factoring in my time. And so honestly, part of it to me is like how much time do you count as managing it, and then how do you use that as a basis. I definitely know what but I guess what I'm more focused on honestly is I'm focused on a certain set of key metrics. And so if those key metrics are able to, if the properties and the opportunities I want fit into that metric, it fits into what my long-term plans are. So there's certain properties I'll buy knowing that they cash flow just enough to squeeze into my metric or to be on the cusp of it. But I expect the area or the rent to substantially change in the near future due to things like maybe the Kellogg's projects going on, or maybe Fanshawe's downtown campus, which actually just opened. So if you're in the London, Ontario market, one thing you should be really aware of is that Fanshawe's downtown campus just brought, I believe, 1,200 new students to the downtown London, Ontario. So I'm expecting that that's going to be, well, first of all, drastically impactful on Blackfriars and kind of say South Blackfriars, as well as the Stanley area and Soho. And some of those like weird fringe properties on like Maitland and William, they're not in the Old North or Soho, but in that kind of just the downtown region. So, there's certain times that that's a factor too. But if you're interested in general, like you can definitely check out some of my previous videos where I show like exactly how I executed on my properties. Now, like I guess actually if you go back, if you want to see, I can't calculate the numbers off the top of my head, but go back to my last video in the Burying the Lie Street series, and on that one I actually show you exactly what I paid. I believe I showed you exactly the amount of hours I worked. Now it doesn't show the hours it took to say find the deal, negotiate on the deal, and execute the deal, but it does show all the sweat equity hours I put into the property. And then it shows like what I was able to BRRRR it for and what my expected return was based on my expected rents. So that maybe will help, at least give you some perspective. That being said, my perspective on investing in direct equities is maybe different than other people. My background is a CPA, chartered accountant, and so I used to be a financial controller for a publicly traded company, and that experience just made me really realize how complicated it is to really understand a business by just reading its financial statements. Because I was the guy helping preparing the financial statements that were published and helping prepare the discussion and analysis for the MD&A, which is the management discussion analysis. So, I guess it's a fuzzy question, so I know I'm only going to be able to provide fuzzy answers, and I know that's frustrating. If any other investors, though, have done it, like jump in the comment section, share your perspective on the question, because it's a very fair question that Sergeant Snake Eyes is asking. So Rainer's saying, speaking of lawyers, I actually found myself in a lawsuit since it turns out the neighbor's giant parking lot is actually mine. Laugh out loud. The fees are just ridiculous. Oh, weird, interesting, unusual. Title insurance might be able to help you out on that. So maybe it's different if you're investing in Quebec, but my expectations would be in Ontario, the title insurance, or you would have had a survey done, and your lawyer would be, like the lawyer you bought it through, would at least be able to initially guide you. Now, if you end up having to sue them in order to get it because they're challenging it, again, I thought your title insurance would either pay for that or reimburse you. But again, clearly you're the one going through it, so you probably know better than I do. I would let us know how that works out though if you're still actively doing it, because that's a very unique situation that I'm completely unfamiliar with. Awesome, Lee and Aiden got some great conversations going on. Yeah, boom. I think it's 10 after 9. I think we've been doing this for like 2 hours. I hope you guys got value from this.
Thank you, Aiden, for all the
Yeah,
the
really
chat.
appreciate it, Aiden. Definitely didn't need to do it, but definitely put a smile on our face, so thank you. To the 2 of you that gave me a download, I'm still wondering WTF, mofos.
But in my DMs on Instagram, sounds like we got 1 Vegas ticket from
awesome.
this live and a couple limo tours from Mitt there. So
Sweet. Well, I really appreciate it, guys. I hope you got value from it, and maybe I should start doing it more. Maybe I should start trying to plan this later on, simply because the engagement's awesome. The fact that we still got 26 people, like one of the reasons we stopped doing the Cash Flow Go show was that the YouTube algorithm was giving us no love,
yeah,
and it just kept, and also literally the program kept crashing on my cell phone. But yeah, if we're able to keep this sort of engagement going, maybe I'll just start bringing off every Friday night.
well, maybe this was the uniqueness that
True.
we're on, and not, you're on every Friday. I can
True,
catch you
yeah.
next Friday.
Yeah, familiarity
So-
breeds contempt.
Somewhere around Friday. It could be Thursday night, it could be Saturday morning. I don't know.
Hey, Ian, you want the Matthew Shea stuff? So if you want his exact joint venture agreement, I believe if you go to any of his YouTube videos and click through, you'll be able to do it. If you can't find it, send me a DM on Instagram, ideally, and I'll do my absolute best to get that to you. Matt's, I think, still traveling right now, or he just got back.
And he's making his course.
Yeah, so he just got back, but actually, yeah, DM me on Instagram before tomorrow, because I'm going to be jumping on a call with Matt. I forgot about that. So if I can't find it myself, I'll get it from the man tomorrow. And Matthew Shea is coming to Vegas, baby. So actually, we should even come down to potentially to Windsor too, just to meet John and everything. Aiden was saying he can what time is it, Aiden, right now? Before we wrap up, I know I could just Google it, but I'm just curious.
Is it morning?
Right? It'd have to be morning, I think.
So it's like,
Yeah, I'm just
is this
curious
by
though.
9, it's what, like 9 a.m. or is it
I don't know how time works. Anyways, I'm going to get going because
Alright.
I'm feeling a little silly because it's been a lot of talking, a lot of dinners. 11 a.m. Interesting.
Well, Snake Eyes, I was more with him, but apparently Aiden knows his exact time.
Yeah.
So,
Cool. Awesome. Well, thank you guys.
thank you.
And until next time, remember, making money is a team sport. There's more than enough money in this world for us to all make it, but if you're not saving it, I mean, like, what's the point? Thanks, guys. Bye.
We'll see you in Windsor, and we'll see you after that in Vegas.
Vegas, baby.
Vegas.